So today's AI hot take is around ethics and terms of service. A learner in my community had proposed an agent that could go in and n- identify a list of prospects based on buyer intent. The proposal was to go into communities like Discord or Reddit and scrape the data based on verbiage that demonstrated intent. So, for example, I'm having a problem with, paired with um, something related to his solution. So, in his case, I think he was in the real estate industry. So, I'm having trouble with navigating finding property in Salt Lake City, Utah, right? So it could identify those people and create an outlist or an outreach list for them. So this I think is really interesting and really fascinating because at the end of the day, it is an ethical conundrum that we face, right? So the first point on this is if you look, we've got terms of service for all of these communities that we're a part of. And generally, and sometimes they're called community standards, but it's really, really good to be aware of what those terms of service are and right? Because a user in Reddit, for example, has a reasonable, if they want to continue to be a user of Reddit, um, or if Reddit wants them to continue being a user, they must provide an environment that says, I can feel safe sharing and being myself and being in community. And therefore, the reasonable expectation that I won't be lambasted or bombarded for every single comment I make by some sort of a salesperson. So, this is typically why um, a community would put in, okay, so this is conversational style here, right? But okay, so that's probably not the good one to look at. But here's Discord's terms of service, right? So they've explicitly spelled out what the rules are to access their data, and it's designed to protect their users and protect their investment in building their community. Because if people come into the community and are unable to feel safe or feel protected, then they won't stay a user. I guess I just think this is an interesting thing to consider. You know, it also identifies, or if you want to think about ethics, there are a lot of other ethics around it that I think are also well covered um, and also not well defined. There's no clear answer, right? This is why we have AI that is often biased because the model is trained on what we know. A good example, for years, people have been talking about using AI in job searches and how AI models in HR are trained to weed out certain populations that they believe wouldn't be a culture fit. So, so that's a conversation that's been raging forever. Um, and yeah, so it's really interesting, I think, and it's something that I think everyone in their AI journey at some point has to grapple with and face. And if you want to drop your comments below, I'd love to hear where you find your ethical guidelines or your kind of your limits are in terms of AI. It'd be really interesting to have that conversation. And meanwhile, it's just worth pointing out that if you're engaging with other tools through your process, you're going to want to be sure that you're meeting their community guidelines. And often this will be managed or monitored through the API that they provide to connect the tools together. So this is today's hot take. And have a fantastic day. Look forward to seeing you again here on the Juice Bar.